This is a quick trick tutorial on how to transfer a image. So the way we're going to be doing that, I'm going to be transferring this image onto a good drawing piece of paper. So the first thing you do is, of course, you print out a nice image. Make sure that your composition is the way you want it and so forth. In this case, I have it exactly 8 by 10 inches. And you flip that over, and you're going to be putting graphite over any lines that you're going to want to transfer over eventually onto a piece of paper. So this is the first step. So I've printed it, it's got the composition, and now I'm going to flip it over and start putting some graphite on. Now you can do this with a regular HB pencil, number 2 pencil. I'm using my 3B, that's all I have here right now. So I'm going to put a nice coat here. Now, sometimes you could also get a graphite stick. They look like little square pieces of long rectangular square graphite. And the darker you can get this, the better. So I'm going to do that now and slowly graphite this whole thing here. Okay, now I've covered it up pretty well with graphite. It should cover most of my cupcake here. Now, the darker you go on here, the better, because when we go to transfer it, you're not going to want to press down very hard. If you don't put enough graphite on this here, then you're going to tend to want to press down too hard on it, and it's going to end up denting your paper. So next step here is to I'm going to put this aside here. I'm going to pull out my drawing paper. In this case, it's going to be a 9 by 12 inch piece of drawing paper. I'm going to tape that down here so that it doesn't shift on me once I start transferring. So the best thing to do is get a couple of pieces of tape right on the corner there. And I put one on the corner there. And that should keep it from shifting. And then I am going to center mine because I'm going to want to keep it nice and into a 9 by 12 here, or eventually I can just cut it into a 8 by 10. I'm going to tape that on top as well, and then that way neither one of them will shift. Now the easy part to this is to, now you could either with any one of your pencils, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to outline some of the main shapes so that I have my main composition over here, because in this case this one here is for a shading or value study, so I don't want to worry about the placement. So in any case, you want to make sure that you press down here, start off here, do a line about that big, and then you can lift it up, and then you'll see how it still transfers over. Now, if it's not dark enough, you can press down a little bit harder, but make sure that you're not pushing down too hard, because otherwise it's going to dent the paper, and especially if you're doing shading, you're not going to be able to get graphite in there, or at least it's going to be uneven. So I'm going to continue doing this, and my whole drawing will be transferred over, and then I can do whatever I want, whether it's an ink study or a final drawing or value study and so forth. So I'll continue doing that here. So one of the things that you'll notice here is that I'm proceeding very slowly around the main shapes that I want to do it, but I'm also going very lightly. It's hard to tell in the video, but I'm not pressing very hard. Like I said, you don't want to dent your paper, and then occasionally you want to check, make sure that it is actually transferring. So one of the things you don't want to do is go through your whole design and then find out that you weren't transferring at all. So occasionally check to see if how it's transferring. Make sure that it's just dark enough for you to be able to see the shape. It doesn't have to be that dark, because you'll come back and do the work that you need to do with it, whether it's shading or inks and so forth. So I can't stress enough, do not press very hard on your paper, otherwise you're going to get dents. If you find that you do have dents, then that's the beauty of this. Just start on another piece of paper, graphite the back again to make sure that you have enough graphite on it, but then start over again and make sure that there are no dents, otherwise you're going to be hating it later on. There you go. Got the image transferred over. Like I said, mostly what I like to do is just transfer the main composition. Sometimes I'll put in some of the breaks between the lights and the darks, especially if I'm doing a value study, so that I know approximately where those breaks are going to be. And then from this point, I will proceed to whatever media I want. In this case, I'm probably going to be doing graphite.